How's it going, guys? It's Cameron, and today we're going to be reviewing Spidey issue 3. Now, in this series, Spider-Man has already battled the Lizard before, so technically this is the Lizard returning once again to take battle against Spider-Man. Now, what's really interesting about these comics and this series is each issue is kind of themed to a specific villain. So each issue has a different villain, and it's also themed to that villain. So the previous issue, we had the panels were kind of made out of sand, because it was Sandman as the villain in the previous issue. So I'm really interested in how they're going to continue that trend when we get into the issue 20s and 30s and stuff like that. But anyway, guys, as I was saying, the Lizard is in this issue, and the theme surrounding this issue isn't necessarily towards the villain, it's more or less towards what Uncle Ben told Peter Parker about balancing his life. Now, that's all I'm going to give you. We might as well jump into the issue now and further that speculation and everything like that. So let's jump into it. So we're into the third issue so far, and the issues open up with this kind of montage page of Spider-Man's life with a wrestling Uncle Ben dying, letting the thief go, and then becoming Spider-Man. However, the dialogue in the thought boxes change every issue, so I assume that this is going to be a trend that is in every single issue until maybe the next chapter of the series or something like that. Now, at first I thought these pages at the beginning were just kind of exactly the same each time, kind of describing Peter Parker's life, talking about his origin every single issue, but I think it's really interesting how they changed the dialogue in the boxes to kind of fit the issue. Now, as you saw at the very beginning there, this issue is focusing on balance and the balance of Peter Parker's life and how he can balance Peter Parker's alter ego, Spider-Man, with his actual real life craziness. Now, in this issue, I don't think that is specifically for Spider-Man. I think that also kind of points to the Lizard as well. Dr. Kurt Connors trying to figure out and balance the ways of being the Lizard and trying to grow his arm back. I mean, he can't have both, so he's trying to balance it out, I suppose. Now, for all of you Americans out there, all of you guys that watch my videos who don't live in the UK, I've got a question for you guys. When you say something's going on at school, do people actually dunk other people's heads in the toilets? Because I swear to God, I've seen it in movies, I've seen it in TV series and all of that, but I have never seen it in real life at school in the UK or anything like that. So that is a genuine question to you guys, because obviously we just saw Peter Parker getting his head dunked by Flash, so I was just really curious about that, so let me know. Anyway, so reading this issue and getting through the comic, I really felt like the art style was literally all over the place. The craziness was just kind of devouring my face as I was reading the comic. It did get a little bit crazy, and there was a little bit too much on the screen, the pages or whatever, to kind of keep up with, but that's what I'm saying with the theme of the comic being orientated to the Lizard. I mean, look at the panel on screen right now. The lizards are literally crawling around the panel. So I think that's really interesting how it does that, but it does kind of make it feel a little bit, I don't think the right word is claustrophobic, but you get what I mean. Now, I don't know about you guys as well, but I kind of feel like the lizards just came literally out of nowhere. And to be honest, we don't necessarily get a very good explanation as to why they exist. Sure, Spider-Man discovers this secret lab hidden in the sewers, very Lizard cliche, which I actually thought was awesome, and the panel that's on screen right now actually reminded me of the aliens' eggs that the aliens come out of or whatever. I don't know the true name for them, but you get what I mean. Now, as I was saying with these lizards literally coming out of nowhere, we don't actually discover what these experiments are for or why they are even here. Now, as for the art style, I did say that it was a little bit kind of claustrophobic and a little bit messy, but I do love it when Spider-Man's trying to not fall down, when all these lizards just kind of devour him. That looked awesome, especially because it took up the entire page, and I love it when comic panels do that. So now that we're getting further into the comic and I can actually talk about it, yes, the Lizard, Dr. Kurt Connors, the main man of the book, is definitely in the issue. I know I already mentioned it way at the beginning of the comic, but the comic kind of leaves it as a surprise, so I figured I'd do that for you guys as well. But now that I can talk about it, I am really loving the purple jeans or shorts or whatever the Lizard is wearing. I never actually noticed those when I was reading the comic until now, but they do look pretty awesome, kind of reminds me of the Hulk. Maybe that's just because purple and green go so well together, but yeah, it looks pretty awesome. It's also very interesting to see the Lizard truly being a villain again, because we know in the Amazing Spider-Man comics right now, Dr. Kurt Connors is stuck in a lizard form, but he's still Dr. Kurt Connors, so he's not evil or anything like that. So it's pretty good to see the Lizard actually be its full-blown villain again, and going back to the old times. Now, as for my favourite part of this comic, my genuine favourite part is this on screen right now, when Peter says, "I don't want to put words into your mouth, especially when a fist will do." And I just thought that was awesome, how Spider-Man can still come up with those quippy lines whilst fighting the Lizard, and that's something this series never falls short of. Just really quickly, going back to what I was talking about earlier about not knowing where these lizards came from and everything like that, another part of that is that we know Dr. Kurt Connors was in jail, but we never get told how he escaped prison and ended up in the sewers with this massive lab. How long has he been out of jail for? I don't know. But anyway, let's leave that back there. We also need to address the fact that we're getting into that stage where Peter Parker is feeling the responsibilities not only as Spider-Man and as Peter Parker, but also his responsibilities towards Aunt May. He started paying rent, he started working at the Daily Bugle, and using the money that he earns from the photographs to pay for the bills that Aunt May is struggling with. And that's something that we see not only in like many Spider-Man comics, but we also see it in Spider-Man TV series, and I do remember it also happening in the Spectacular Spider-Man TV series, which was awesome by the way. So it's nice to see that it's also included in this comic as well and in this series. But I was actually more concerned with how Peter just kind of accepted that he needs a job. I mean, he did it in like 3 seconds. Usually people don't want to get jobs on top of being Spider-Man and school, so I'm really proud that he made that decision to just go, oh, I need a job. Now that is the end of the issue, guys, and so the next issue will be joining Spider-Man battling against Doctor Doom in issue 4. But until then, let me know what you thought in the comments below about this comic and what you would actually rate it out of 10. Because for me, I'm just going to give it an 8 out of 10. And also, I'd just like to point out that this 8 out of 10 and the comic scores I give on comics don't really matter. That's just kind of something that I give it. What really matters is what I say throughout my review. The end score is kind of just something that I kind of just throw in there just to, you know, kind of level it out a little bit. But yeah, let me know what you thought. And it's going to be interesting to see Doctor Doom come into the series, especially since Secret Wars has been going on and all that craziness. Now guys, you can go to the links in the description to follow me on Twitter and Facebook. I'm going to be giving away the digital codes for Miles Morales' new series, Spider-Man issue 1, tomorrow on my Twitter, so you can follow me on Twitter to keep an eye out for those and maybe have a chance of winning. I'm literally just going to tweet the codes out and the first person to get them gets them, so keep an eye out for those. And of course, I've still got the Secret Wars giveaway going on my Instagram, and the Spider-Man / Deadpool issue 1 giveaway is still going on as well. I think the next issue releases tomorrow for that, but I'm not too sure, so yeah, head on over to those videos, head on over to my Instagram, head on over to my Twitter, and last but not least, follow me on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest in comic book news. And guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you all later.